More evidence of racism on the OU campus. Another Oklahoman has a job interview with Donald Trump. And the very latest on the attacks at Ohio State University. This is OU Nightly. Oklahoma law officers are scouring central Oklahoma for a dangerous man. In the past 24 hours, police say Michael Dale Vance Jr. killed 2 people and wounded 4 others. And the video has rippling effects all the way to Albuquerque, New Mexico, where I traveled this weekend to report on a campus rally for Libertarian presidential candidate Gary Johnson. Chants and cheers echoed throughout the walls of the University of New Mexico's Student Union as Governor Gary Johnson took the stage. He spoke to the crowd hours after Republican nominee Donald Trump's lewd comments about women surfaced and went viral. And the news of Donald Trump's latest scandal heavily impacted Governor Johnson's event. Before speaking to the crowd in a press conference, the Libertarian nominee revealed that he has garnered some support from Republicans.
If you're an elected official, though, and you don't endorse your party's nominee, that just speaks volumes also. And that's happening in mass. Such a massive amount that the campaign can't even begin to deal with it at the moment. Dozens of elected officials.
Then, before the candidate spoke to the crowd, his daughter made a call to voters.
I am up here today because I want you to replace my face with your sister, your daughter, your mother, your grandmother, your coworker, the little girl down the street. And when you walk into that voting booth, I want you to think about the kind of message it would send if you elected someone like Donald Trump into office.
And a surprise speaker, the chairman of New Mexico's College Republicans, made an appearance for an announcement.
Seeing Donald Trump's behavior both in public and behind closed doors has led me to the conclusion that I cannot and will not vote for Donald J. Trump for President of the United States.
Secret that Republicans are shifting after this weekend. The question is whether or not it will actually make a difference in the presidential race. And before the rally, before the news conference, I sat down with former Governor Johnson in an exclusive one-on-one interview. To hear what he has to say about millennial voters, watch our 2016 election coverage this Wednesday. Yes, guys, I'm still here at the Democratic Watch Party in Oklahoma City. We've seen the mood change throughout the night from very excited on the onset, went to a little bit anxious, and now the mood has changed to somewhat depressed from the people that I've spoken to. I'm now here with James Cooper. He's an Oklahoma teacher. James, I wanted to get your response to something that just happened here. Sure. There was an older black gentleman who began speaking very loudly about the state of Oklahoma and how if Trump should be what it looks like will be elected president, it would be the most horrible thing to happen in the history of the United States. What is your response to that?
Well, I didn't hear all of the gentleman's remarks, but I think we can be pretty clear that in the history of the United States, we've had considerably worse things than a democracy being in action, you know. We've had slavery, we've had Jim Crow laws, we've had women not being allowed to vote, we've had LGBT people beaten by police, immigrants beaten, we've had internment camps, we've had some pretty awful things. I don't know that I would say that democracy working is literally the worst thing to ever happen to our country.
The oil industry is notoriously cyclical, and experts say it will rise again. Until then, petroleum engineers might have to keep getting creative with their career plans. Allie Stratton, OU Nightly. In response to a rallying cry from North Dakota, Oklahomans are gathering, not just to object to the Dakota Access Pipeline, but state pipelines too.
There are just hundreds of pipelines just in Oklahoma. There's one coming right through my town, Norman, Oklahoma.
Frances, longtime environmental activist, says her main goal is preserving the planet for future generations.
All of these young people are going to feel these horrible effects of climate change. We could mediate this, but if we keep waiting, it's going to become impossible.
The outcry against oil pipelines has united environmental advocates like Francis with Native Americans who fear big oil is infringing on their lands. Ashley McCrae is a member of the absentee Shawnee tribe of Oklahoma and Lakota tribes in North Dakota.
Both of these pipelines affect my tribes, my mother's people up north and my father's people down here in Oklahoma.
McCrae founded Stop the Plains All-American Pipeline, a group that opposes a pipeline that would run from Cushing through Norman.
It's not just Dakota Access that people are fighting, that the fight is right here in our own backyard, that we see it, like we see Chesapeake right here, and we experience frac quakes regularly to where we're almost acclimated and used to it. That's what's scary.
Members of the group say they hope to generate change in the state government.
We're proving the oil industry wrong, that Oklahoma is tired of oil and gas extraction, and that we're ready for a just transition towards clean, renewable energy.
And though activists have succeeded in delaying construction of some pipelines, companies don't show any sign of permanently halting construction. Allie Stratton, OU Nightly. We're already seeing implications of Donald Trump's victory on the Hispanic community. Just last night, the president-elect told 60 Minutes he plans to deport undocumented immigrants with criminal records, which he estimates to be 2 to 3 million people. Since the election, I reached out to undocumented students on OU's campus to find out how they're reacting to the coming Trump presidency. The reality of Donald Trump becoming president of the United States is igniting uproar in many, but fear in others, specifically OU's undocumented students, protected by President Obama's DACA policy. DACA stands for Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. It grants a work permit to students who came to the United States before they were 16 and shields them from deportation.
So I'm from Chihuahua, Mexico. I was born there, and I was brought over to the United States when I was 3 years old.
Meraz, a political science sophomore, says when her family found out that Trump will be president, they cried together, and her parents apologized to her for bringing her here.
They apologized for making my life a million times easier than it was for them, and that hurts. That hurts that we have a president that is okay with people mourning, because that's what a lot of the population is doing right now, is mourning.
And Allie Stratton is standing by on set with OU's Political Science Department Chair Keith Gaddy. Allie?
Dr. Gaddy, thanks for joining us. So the stage is pretty much set in Oklahoma for the presidential race. Recent polls coming in are telling us that Donald Trump has more than a 99% chance of winning the election here. What do you think it is about Trump that's garnering such an immense support from Oklahomans?
Well, remember, no Democrat has won Oklahoma since 1964. We pretty much could have called this state the moment we knew who the Republican nominee was. It didn't really matter who it was. For Donald Trump in particular, what's the appeal? It's really simple. He's a Republican, he's a nationalist, and he's a populist, and that sells well.
Never too old.
Never too old to trick or treat.
Do you guys have any plans dressing up as anything, or did you have any costumes this weekend?
I dressed up as an astronaut this weekend.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
What about you, Kylie?
I was a Taco Bell hot sauce packet.
Wow, that's so creative.
I'm
jealous.
All right, thanks, Kylie.
Thanks for watching OU Nightly, brought to you by the Gaylord College at the University of Oklahoma.
We'll see you back here tomorrow night live at 4:30.
Good night.